Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Jim and the King NFL podcast. I'm Jim, sitting to my left is Denver Dave, and we're here to talk about the NFL. Hey Dave.
Hey, football's back.
Yeah, none of our colleagues are still.
No.
Those contract talks really are going into the season now, starting to bite.
Holding out for money, we're not having it.
Well, we have to pay them nothing at this rate, the amount of fines they're incurring.
It's more than I get in.
You're the only one that doesn't pull a salary for this gig, Dave. Sorry to tell you.
But,
yeah, NFL is finally back. We've got an entire week's worth of games going on to talk about. 16 games. We'll touch on all 16 of them. Some more than others.
Yes.
Yeah. Before we start, let's talk about a player that wasn't playing this weekend, Dave. Just briefly. I don't want to talk about him any more than you do. Okay.
Go on.
Antonio Brown. The saga continues. He is now a New England Patriot. Engineered a move out of Oakland. Within a few hours, he was signed to the Patriots roster. Although Punk Raider is not here today, he's been quite vocal about his displeasure, obviously. It's difficult for Punk. I'm sure he's just getting receipt of his Antonio Brown jersey through the post. So this is not going to be easy for him.
It's alright, I can just say it's... Who's the other one? Who's the other Brown? Trent Brown. You can just say it's
Trent Brown, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look a little bit obvious that how it's happened. I think for me, obviously, we're expecting him to go to the Patriots. It's the thing that normally happens. Patriots take a flyer on someone, won't put up with any of his rubbish, so I don't expect it to work out. But the thing that really grated for me was the video he posted when he was released from the Raiders. Did you see this one, Dave, when he went running out into his back garden?
Nope.
Screaming that he was free?
Nope.
It just shows the class of the guy, you know.
Doesn't shock me.
No, nothing should shock you about Antonio Brown anymore, except that people think he's a great actor because they think that this is all just engineered. The entire thing was just a saga to move from Pittsburgh to New England.
I don't think it matters.
No, I
don't think it matters. If he went to the Raiders and engineered a move, he's a dick.
Yeah.
If he went there and just acted as a dick because he's an idiot, he's a dick.
Yeah.
It makes no difference.
Yeah.
It's still a dick move. It makes no difference.
Well, yeah, but there's an intent and there's just crazy, and I think he is just crazy. So I'm hoping that it all falls off in New England because there's a franchise that deserves something bad to happen to him.
I will get bored of running 7-yard slants. So
well, yeah,
who cares?
Yeah, going long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Antonio Brown. Get ready for him week 2 against the Dolphins.
Oh, Jesus Christ, going to be a massacre.
Yeah, worse than in Japan. Those Dolphins get put into a cove. Let's cast our minds back then, Dave. Let's talk about football for a change.
Mm-hmm.
All the way back to last Thursday night when we saw the Green Bay Packers take on the Chicago Bears in Chi-Town, and it was definitely shite.
Yeah.
So the Packers ended up winning that game 10-3.
I stayed up to watch this because I was off on the Friday.
Okay.
And
sing for me.
I thought I was disappointed with the Bears offense for obvious reasons. They only scored 3 points.
So were Chicago fans.
Anyone who doesn't know, it was 10-3 and 10-3 to the Packers.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, did you?
You're not listening already, Dave. No. Thanks very much.
So I was disappointed. It was a complete lack of anything. There was no run game. Tariq Cohen, I don't even think ran the ball. He caught the ball a few times, but
there was a lot of criticism about Matt Nagy calling pass plays all the time rather than trying to run the ball when you've got some very good running back talent there. And David Montgomery just wasn't used. He was there, but
no, first quarter I don't think he came on at all. It was just a bit of a weird game. It was just a subdued atmosphere.
They got their field goal in the first quarter, so they were happy about that because obviously about the double doink last year.
After that, it was just nothing. And I think it was about 2 minutes left to go. They had a drive where you're thinking, okay, you've only scored 3, you're one score down. Just march down the field and get something, and it's going to make the last 2 or 3 minutes interesting. Nothing happened.
No. Well,
and it was weird.
The knives were out for Trubisky, I think rightly so. But he completed 26 of 45 throws. Those misses weren't very close. There were a lot of them that weren't even close. He's just throwing to nothing.
There was one particular throw that he made, and he was expecting a sort of an out route by by his tight end.
Yeah.
And his tight end ran forward, blocked for him, and then the ball was thrown at the back of his head almost. And it was kind of like, where is this? I don't understand this concept of sort of it being either fly by night or doing something. It's like he wasn't calling the plays, or he wasn't executing the same play everyone else was. It was just a bit weird.
Yeah. He looks flustered very quickly, does Mitch Trubisky.
Well, normally it's year 3, they say the game slows down a bit, so you see everything a bit clearer and everything else starts working. It doesn't seem to be happening at the moment.
Well, it's only year 2 for him, isn't it, at the moment? But 5 sacks each. So the Packers' defense managed to keep pace with the Bears' defense. The only bright spot for the Bears really was Allen Robinson getting over 100 yards in his first game since moving across from Jacksonville. But yeah, not a great game to start the season.
And they've got a very tough game next as well.
Yes. But we'll talk about that later on. Next up is the Washington Redskins going to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
So we're starting on Sunday there. Good win for the Philadelphia Eagles. They had to come back from, I think it was 20-7 down at half time. It finally started moving. Deshaun Jackson was the big talk, really. He caught 8 of 10 passes for 154 yards and 2 touchdowns in his return to Philadelphia.
Yeah. Do you know what this game reminded me of?
What's that?
Olympic 10,000 metres.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's a favourite of many of our listeners.
You get a British athlete who guns it off the line.
Why's it got to be a British athlete that guns it off the line?
All right, a white guy. Guns it off the line.
Oh, no.
Guns it off the line and gets a massive lead. And you've got the Kenyan and the Ethiopian athletes, the elite, who are just sitting there going, we're going to reel you in. We just are. We're going to reel you in.
Have you not met Mo Farah before?
I have. It's from Sudan. Never mind.
What?
So
still British.
Somalia. But no, you just know it's inevitable. So no matter how much of a lead the Redskins got, it was inevitable that the Eagles were just going to roll them in and just keep scoring. They didn't look. First quarter looked a bit ropey and they weren't getting many yards. After that, it was almost inevitable. And the Redskins just looked like a team in the third and fourth quarter who were knackered. And I know they weren't, but that's just what it looked like.
Yeah. Yeah, it was unfortunate for the Skins, but like you said, only scored 7 points in the second half.
Yeah.
Whereas Philadelphia scored 25. My maths is working.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Case Keenum looked like Case Keenum as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, we did say before the season that they've put him in there because these are the tough games. There's no point sticking Haskins against that Eagles front seven.
The other thing that stood out, really, I don't know how many yards he got. I'm sure you'll be able to tell me about.
I won't.
Darius Geis. There was a few times he looked as though he could really break through a line and get yards after contact. Nothing. Every time he got touched, he went down.
Bit of a Brandon Jacobs to him.
So let's have a look how many yards he got. Because I remember saying to you, I think I said it on the pod before as well, in pre-season, every time he got touched, he's got nothing about him in terms of breaking a tackle.
Yeah.
And he had 10 carries for a grand total of 18 yards.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's not been easy for guys. He was injured all of last year, basically.
Yep. This is essentially his rookie season.
Yeah.
He's got Adrian Peterson sitting behind him.
In front of him.
Well, he's behind him at the moment because he's injured. And you've also got Bryce Love as well.
Yeah. So they've got an injury-ravaged backfield.
Yeah, but as soon as they're fit, I can't see guys keeping them the main spot, but not with these performances.
Well, we'll see. Anyway. Hopefully it improves for him, but like you said, yeah, you need a running back that can at least break a tackle.
Yeah, I mean, if your quarterback
stand up to a hit.
If your quarterback is Case Keenum, he's going to be okay if you give him a strong run game. If you give him a poor run game, he's going to really, really struggle. I mean, he weren't that much cop yet last season with Philip Lindsay. You take Philip Lindsay out of it, and he's even worse.
Let's move on from that game because it went the way people thought it was going to by the end of it. Yep. Let's go to a really crazy game, and that was in New York, where the Buffalo Bills beat the New York Jets 17 points to 16.
Yeah, this killed my accumulator.
Killed a lot of them, I think.
Yeah.
I would say, I know I'm going to get some grief for this from Josh Allen supporters, but 2 very bad quarterback performances from both your boy Sam Darnold and someone else's boy Josh Allen. Talking about Sam Darnold quickly. He was just throwing daisy cutters the whole time. He could barely get that ball over the defensive line. to a receiver. I haven't seen that for a long time where a quarterback is just not getting the air on the ball and they're just batting the ball down.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, he's not got great receivers. His line is porous, to say the least. But it's week 1. He's just coming back off an injury as well. He had an injury in pre-season, which I'm not sure will help. I think it was ankle or calf or something like that. But yeah, I mean, the troubles that this team has got, I don't think they're down to him.
No, I'm not saying they're all down to him. I'm just saying it wasn't a great performance by Sam Darnold. Similarly for Josh Allen, he had 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles as well.
There was one point where I think there was 4 interceptions in 6 plays or something like that, or 4 turnovers in 6 plays. That's got to be concerning. But I mean, he played badly and still won. So
they won. You
can't knock him.
Can't say anything against that. Great first game for Devin Singletary, 98 yards for him. Also, John Brown, 123 yards and a touchdown for the former Cardinal.
Again, Devin Singletary, he didn't come in until I think it was the third quarter. I don't think he played in the first half. He came in, and as soon as he came in, the Bills looked dangerous.
Well, yeah, they didn't score in the first half, Buffalo.
No.
3 points in the third quarter and 14 in the fourth.
Yeah, so to put it into context, Frank Gore, bless him, still going.
Yeah.
11 carries for 20 yards.
Legend.
Then there was Josh Allen, who had 10 carries for 38, and then Devin Singletary, 4 carries for 70. I mean, that is a stat.
Yeah, he's going to make a massive difference to the team this year.
Yep.
The other notable mention, I guess, is Le'Veon Bell. Yep. His first game in over a year, just under 100 yards and a touchdown catch as well.
Yeah.
Good first game back for Le'Veon. He's a dangerous player. I think that he's not going to have the joy on the ground that he had in Pittsburgh because the O-line for the Jets can't hold up and allow him to do those stutter runs that he's so famous for. But he's always been good at catching the ball.
Yep.
So he's going to be, a check down option, someone out of the backfield.
Yep, I agree. I know you want to move on from this.
I do, yeah. We're going through these.
I found this game to be a bit frustrating because if you look
so the Jets and Bills fans.
Well, if you, as a neutral, because if you look at that conference, you've got 4 really, well, you got one very, very good team.
In division.
Yeah, in their division.
Yeah.
You got one very good team, 2 okay teams, and one really bad team. And you kind of hope that the Jets were going to be the team this season who could challenge the Patriots, and it doesn't look as though that's going to be the case now. So,
well, the last team that got to the playoffs other than the Patriots was the Bills.
No, Dolphins did not last season before.
No, the Bills knocked off for the they got stung by the Jags, didn't they, in the wildcard round?
Okay. I don't
They're close to each other, but it may be that Buffalo, if they can get Devin Singletary starting the game, they could win a few more.
It doesn't strike me as a team who's going to really challenge New England, though. Now, I know that the Jets weren't, but as a push, you could say maybe if things go well for them, I don't know.
It's only week 1, Dave.
Yeah,
we'll see what
goes on. It's just a bit
on.
disappointing because I was expecting more.
I know, I was hoping to see more from Quillen Williams, really, and Ed Oliver on the other side.
Yeah, but there's one play that Ed Oliver made. He just went completely the wrong way and left his man on about 15 yards of space. It was hilarious.
Yeah. Let's go on to the next game then. That was the Atlanta Falcons going to the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings won this 28-12, and it was never close.
Do you know what? I want to give you credit on this because the Falcons looked trash.
What did I say? 14 points in the first quarter for Minnesota, 7 in the second, 7 in the third, and then Atlanta scored their 12 points in the fourth.
That is literally garbage time points.
Yeah.
It's just weird. And their Chris Lundstrom, who's their newly drafted offensive lineman, he's now injured for potentially 8 weeks or so.
Oh dear.
So a bit of a shame for them. They just never got going. It was a strange game because every play was just, I don't know, it's just really strange just watching because nothing was going for them at all. It seems to be a running theme with 1 or 2 teams. But they just looked terrible. Really terrible.
It was great to see Dalvin Cook back and fully healthy, and look what he did to him. 120 scrimmage yards and 2 touchdowns for the Vikings. Anthony Harris picked Matt Ryan twice, so that's great for him. Julio Jones, the new contract man, completed 6 of 11 catches for 31 yards and a touchdown. Julio Jones just signed that 3-year extension for $66 million, 64 of which is guaranteed. Ow!
Not bad money if you can get it.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
and he's getting it.
If you just look at the stats though for the Vikings, it wasn't a particularly difficult plan they went to. I mean, there was only 10 attempted passes from Kirk Cousins.
Oh yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, no stats
It was just
from
ground
Cousins
pound.
really.
That's all
yeah.
it was. I mean,
Well,
it
he didn't
was,
need to. Yeah.
It was. I mean, Kirk Cousins got barely 100 yards. Dalvin Cook 21 carries. So it was exactly as we thought it was going to be. It was going to be Cook heavy. The problem is he's got a history of getting injured. So
Well, yeah.
do you want him to be carrying that many times?
Well, okay. But at that point, they'd already kind of sealed the game up, so they did start to rest him a bit. I think it was a game that I think. Well, I thought it was fairly open and shut before it even started. But nice to see that something I say is actually coming to fruition.
Yeah, and so far it's been two things. Trubisky's crap.
Yeah,
and
Mahomes is brilliant.
Well,
I called that.
Let's not go nuts.
Oh no, that's not. No, MVP in his first full season. Yeah. And the Minnesota Vikings beating the Atlanta Falcons. Like I said, it's going to be difficult for the Falcons. They've not got an easy schedule.
No.
So yeah, it could be 5 or 6 games in. We could see it come all round.
It will be very interesting to see what happens in Atlanta if they have another bad season, personnel wise.
Talking of bad seasons, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
The Baltimore Ravens went to the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. And,
yeah. Where do you start?
Well, we can start with the score, I suppose. Let's take it quarter by quarter. So the first quarter, 21-0 to the Ravens. Second quarter,
those first quarters happen where you get 3 scores. Sometimes they just happen.
Yeah.
A team goes, all right, let's just lock it down, get to half time. Mm-hmm. Let's just stop being stupid. Let's just get a point on the board, and we'll go in 21-7 or something like that. We've seen them a lot.
Yeah.
To go in at half time, 42 points on the board.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
42-10 at half time. 52-10 at the end of the third quarter, and 59-10 at the end of the fourth.
It's a disaster movie. It is terrible.
Yeah. It meant that the stats, I'm going to sound really Steelerish now, are really skewed. So I don't think you can really. It's such an outlier game that I think that you can't really read too much into this result because.
Oh no, I think you can.
No, we knew that. Well, we can talk about the Dolphins. Yeah, we knew they weren't going to be great.
Yeah.
But to be this bad that some of their remaining players were requesting trades at the end of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just feel bad for the Dolphins fans. You've got to feel a bit sorry for the people that turn up and pay the money.
There's no way to run an organisation. It's just not.
Well,
I mean, there's a brand new coach who's coming into his first head coaching role, and he's coming in. There's 31 new players.
Yeah.
In a squad of 53, 58?
Yeah, 53.
53. So, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really is. They've given away their 2 premier offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
One's gone to the Broncos, one's gone to the Texans.
Gave away one of their most solid wide receivers as well in Kenny Stills.
Yep. And they lost running back. They lost. Kenyon Drake's still there though, isn't he?
He's still there.
They've lost cornerbacks. I mean, they've lost every position.
Everything.
They've lost everything, and they've got 2 quarterbacks who are new to the organisation as well. One who's failed everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
And although he had not a bad season last year, and the other guy who's essentially just been swapped for, what was it, a second round, late second?
Yeah,
third?
late second round pick. Yeah.
So what really struck me though is what you said in the last pod. So you said the way to beat the Ravens is to do exactly what the Chargers did and go, okay, we know you're going to run, so we're going to push our safeties right up and we're going to go play it over the top. So they did. So for anyone who hasn't seen it, it was just bombs being thrown constantly. I mean, there's one point where Hollywood Brown breaks the line, runs through, and if you'd have trod on a landmine, it would have only got him. He had so much room. It was insane. It was like a 72-yarder.
In his first game in the NFL, Marquise Hollywood Brown had 4 catches for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. So 50% of your catches are touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, his first 2. His first one was a touchdown. Second one was a touchdown.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
He could have still been running now, and they could have had motorbikes, and they still wouldn't have got near him.
I mean, Mark Andrews had 8 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown as well. Lamar Jackson ended up with 324 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, completed 17 of 20 throws as well. So that was going quite a long way into the game where he was completing everything.
The worst play for me was the one where they were in the red zone and he was sort of running backwards.
Yeah.
Threw it into the end zone.
Yeah.
And the guy standing there in the end zone, standing still, and there's no one within 10 metres of him. It was insane how bad it was.
Yeah, Mark Ingram, 14 carries, 107 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
They even brought in RG3 at the end. He threw 6 for 6, 55 yards and a touchdown. So, it was everyone was having fun there on the Ravens side, which is why I'm saying, Dave, you've got to take that result with a pinch of salt. Personally, I'm happy that Lamar Jackson was throwing it.
No salt here, mate. I'm not judging the Ravens. This isn't a game where you judge the Ravens. I agree with you.
No.
This is a game where you judge the Dolphins.
Yeah. Some of their players are, yeah.
Oh, I mean, I haven't seen a performance that bad from a team since there was one last season from Arizona. I think they played, I think it was the Chiefs.
Could have been.
And it was a mauling. And I mean, it was...
What about when the Vikings lost to the Bills last season? That was incompetence.
But that was just
personified.
incompetence. It wasn't because a team is utter garbage.
Decimated.
Yeah, and there was a couple where the Browns lost. I think there's one game where you guys played the Browns a couple of years ago, and there was no mercy. You just didn't let up. It's like, right, we're gonna beat you.
We put over 50 on the Panthers last season. That scuppered their season, didn't it?
Yeah, but again, that wasn't a bad team. That was just one really, really, really good team. And a team who were really, really good the week before.
Yeah.
And they just went off a cliff. But no, this is a game where you judge the Dolphins, and unfortunately, this probably isn't going to be the last time that we're talking about them being utter shit.
I mean, for a fan, it's one thing to say, oh yeah, we'll just tank the season, but it's another thing to actually live that season and watch every week when it just keeps coming.
What do you do if you're a fan who's bought a season ticket? Because I can tell you, NFL tickets are not cheap.
No.
And if I've paid $1,500 for 8 home games, I'm asking for a refund.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how they work that out because, they are still putting a team on the field.
Yeah, but come
on.
on.
I don't know, can they...
Well, if you complain, there's a chance you might get a jersey. I mean, it's so bad.
Who are you putting on that jersey? Tua?
I don't know. Yeah. Now, the funny thing was, I was looking at season bets last weekend, and there's different bets you could put on who was going to win the Super Bowl, who's going to get playoffs. One of them was the Dolphins to have a top 2 pick, and it was 3-1.
Is that it?
Yeah. So I think that's not bad to be one of the top two teams. That bet's no longer available. It's just not there.
No.
Damn, I wish I put $1,000 on there.
Yeah, it's not gonna be fun for the Dolphins. Let's move on, shall we? Because that's just disappointing. Really.
I'm gonna stop talking about betting when the fun stops stopping. That.
Let's talk about a game with much more in the way of an even score.
Yep.
Ish. Kansas City Chiefs went to Jacksonville. Blisteringly hot day in Duval County. KC came away with a win, 40 points to 26. They scored 17 points in the first quarter compared to Jacksonville's 7. Nick Foles went out with a broken clavicle and his non-throwing shoulder.
Cletus there from The Simpsons.
That's not Cletus.
No, it's not. It's
Professor Frink.
That's the one.
Get your Simpsons reference right.
Yeah.
So then, who was it? Gardner Minshew came in as the backup. Also, Mahomes had a bit of an injury scare as well. Had to go off the field for one play as he fell awkwardly.
I don't think he actually went off the field for a play.
He did, yeah.
No, he went off.
Well, he went off, yeah.
And then came straight back on. There was
a run play.
There wasn't. Honestly, there wasn't, because there was...
Matt Moore had a stat of 0 for 1.
Maybe that was later on, but trust me.
Or maybe it was. Okay, I know he went off the... I think, yeah, you're right. There was
got strapped, and then there was
a break in the play, wasn't there? So they had a chance to come back out again.
And then he came back out. He didn't actually miss a play.
Luckily, he is okay. He threw 378 yards, 3 touchdowns. LaShawn McCoy, in his first game for the Chiefs, had 93 yards from scrimmage. Frank Clark, his first game for the Chiefs, got an interception, which is weird for a defensive end. And Sammy Watkins, though, the toast of the receiving corps, 9 catches on 11 targets for 198 yards and 3 touchdowns.
And I had him on my fantasy team.
On the bench, was it?
On my bench. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Steady scoring again from the Chiefs. They've picked up where they left off from last season. Yeah, 40 points, and he's well on track to equaling his touchdown record from last season.
It's one game, man.
One game. Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I'm reading it from one game. Let's talk about the Jags then briefly, because they did score 13 points in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
DJ Chark was the best receiver for them, 4 of 4 for 146 yards and a touchdown. And Gardner Minshew did do okay. He only missed 3 of his throws.
I think it did all right.
275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception.
Watching him, it was kind of know your limitations and don't go too mad.
Yes.
What does surprise me is after that game, they are not putting too much of their faith in him in the fact they've already gone and got another quarterback.
Well, they had to get someone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they've given up a 5th round pick next year for Pittsburgh's second string quarterback, Joshua Dobbs.
The man who you said was already in the building to replace your...
Well, I do think there's a chance for him to prove himself now. Steelers wouldn't give him the chance, so he's got a chance here in Duval to do something something good. I think he is that. Well, he is that kind of dual threat quarterback. He can use his legs.
I think we play him in week 4. Now there's a good chance he's not going to play next week because he's not going to.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
He's probably not going to play the week after that. So the first time you see him could be against the Broncos.
Could be week 3. Depends what happens in week 2 with Gardner.
You raised a very good point there. If he comes in and does exactly what he's done next week, they'll push it back and leave it another week. Yeah.
And you're also talking about an astrophysicist, basically. This guy's smart. It doesn't take him a long time to pick up something. I was frustrated with how Pittsburgh used him in his 2 years with us.
Even Brock Osweiler's got a degree. Let's not go nuts. It doesn't matter how clever you are sometimes.
Okay, I'm just saying, Dave, that, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, there's a reason.
He didn't come off a tractor.
There's a reason Andrew Luck is classed as one of the most intelligent footballers because he's a very intelligent human being. So, yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence.
No. It's a little bit disappointing that we spent a 4th round pick on him and we've given up a 5th round pick to get rid of him. Talking about the Steelers again, I'm not a fan of Mason Rudolph, so I'm pretty annoyed at this movement, actually. But good. Yeah. I wish him the best, actually, for Jacksonville.
The only thing that's now not got you guys can't let Roethlisberger get injured.
No,
because that's now a genuine concern for you. Whereas previously you're going, we've got Dobbs, he knows the schemes, he's been here a while. Okay, it's not ideal, but every time he's come in, he's looked okay.
Yeah,
he's not torn up any ground. But I think he was playing with such a simple scheme of get us through until Ben's coming back. Yeah. So every time he played previously, it was while Ben was off the field having a burger. So it didn't really make much of it. There was no point in him going down the field and really being expansive in the way he played. So just come in, do the role, carry on. It's fine.
They never. Well, the Pittsburgh offensive unit never really played to Dobbs' strength.
Yeah.
So
he was in there. He was just a gatekeeper. He was a night watchman.
Yeah.
So there we go. See him once he's got an offense that's set for him. Still questions raised about the Chiefs' defense. Still doesn't look great. There was 1 or 2 holes. There's one point where D.D. Westbrook went down the field and he carried 3 men with him completely unnecessarily. It's a big shame for the Jags that Foles is injured. It was on his debut. Was it in the first half?
First quarter. So it was straight out, basically. It's such a shame. We talked about him last week, you know.
Yeah.
We wanted to see him. Didn't get to see enough of him. But hopefully, it's a non-throwing shoulder. So hopefully it's not a season-long injury.
No, I think he'll be back end of November. It depends on how well Dobbs does. If Dobbs comes in and does well, they may wait until he's 100% fit. It will be the old Tony Romo style. We're completely fit, and then Dak takes over for good.
Yeah.
At the same time, if they're 3-9 at that point, then he may not necessarily come in straight away as well. So it may well be a no-win situation for Foles, but a win-win situation for the Jags.
We'll see. Let's move on to the next game then. This is this is quite fun for me. The Tennessee Titans went to the Cleveland Browns and beat the doors off them, 43 points to 13.
I called this.
You did pick the Titans over the Browns.
I did.
Yeah.
Titans are legit, man.
This is the first bad game I've seen for Baker Mayfield. I can't remember a bad performance from him before. This one was a bad performance.
What what was amazing was the fact that, first of all, I like Cameron Wake. I think he's brilliant. Another guy who's exited from the Dolphins recently as well.
Yeah.
I think he's like 37.
At least.
He looked 24. Every single time.
Model professional, mate.
Every single time you looked at Mayfield, though, Cameron Wake was in his face.
2.5 sacks on his first game for
How many
Titans.
pressures, though? About 14?
Oh,
It was insane. That line played diabolical.
Yeah.
How good it actually is, I don't know. But
Well, we've
it
talked
was-
about all the skill positions, haven't they? He talked about OBJ and Jarvis Landry and Joku and Nick Chubb and Baker, but they don't really talk about the offensive line because there's not much to talk about in that offensive line.
Well, I mean, they've got a guy in there who's an ex-Bronco, and if you're looking for good offensive linemen, don't go to the Broncos, son.
Yeah, Baker ended up 285 yards passing, 1 touchdown, but 3 interceptions. He was picked by Logan Ryan, Malcolm Butler, and Kevin Byard.
That Malcolm Butler pick was pretty good as well. Yeah, I think it was a good game. I really, really enjoyed watching it. I'm big on the Titans this season. I think they're sneaky good.
Yeah.
I think I've said that a few times. It'll be very interesting to see how the Browns come back. Their game this week is a very, very interesting game on Monday Night Football. I think this is more of a reflection on the Titans than it is on the Browns. Browns were brownish.
Browns walked into that game thinking they were just going to waltz it.
You
That's
reckon?
the I think, yeah. I think they've spent the entire off-season with those interviews in magazines and
Okay.
seeing the Super Bowl odds,
If
assuming they're going to get into the playoffs.
if they were playing this game against the Steelers,
Yeah.
do you think it would have been different? Not in
Possibly.
terms of the result, but in terms of the way they approached
Yeah,
it.
yeah, probably. The prep would have been a little bit better than they were against the Titans, but I think that when you've seen 3 or 4 years now of Mariota not really performing like you want a second overall pick to do, and again, it wasn't great by Mariota. He just didn't throw loads of interceptions like Baker did.
I thought Mariota was brilliant.
Well, it was alright.
I not in terms of an expansive play, but he
No.
controlled the game.
Controlling, yes. And
He was
then
brilliant.
using Derrick Henry, 20 touches for him, 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. Delaney Walker got 2 touchdowns, and AJ Brown got 100 yards as well. So in his first game,
There was one particular. I mean, there was the standout Derrick Henry 75-yard run. So
Yeah.
that obviously stood out. But there's one point where I was watching Red Zone. It was late in the third, I think.
okay,
Henry's handed the ball. He breaks through the line, and there's 2 Browns standing there watching as he ran by. They literally didn't do anything, and then someone else. It was shocking.
yeah,
And I don't. How much of that is just them not being very good? How much of them is giving up, and how much of it is their head coach who is qualified by the fact he once played Madden or something? I don't know what qualification he's got. But yeah, it was just a bit weird.
Well, there we go.
Yep.
Good
game.
Great
though.
result for the Titans to go away on their first game and put up over 40 points, and to see, a passing game working
Yeah.
alongside, because you can't just rely on Derrick Henry. That's not fair on him, because everyone's going to be stacking the box. So great first game for AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Good for Delaney Walker to see him still there, and you saw him in the locker room doing the old "they were what we thought they were" speech at the end.
There was one particular point as well where the Titans brought on Tannehill.
Right.
So there was Mariota and Tannehill on the field, and I was like, "Oh, I love this." I think it was handed off, and Tannehill tried to run it and just got. I think he lost a couple of yards.
Yeah.
But no, it was interesting to see little gadget plays of going, "We're going to beat you, and we're going to rub it in a little bit as well," which I kind of like.
Let's go on to the next game then. That was the LA Rams at the Carolina Panthers. Great game, this one. Lot of defense being played. The Rams came out on top 30 points to 27. Both QBs had an interception in this game. Good to see Cooper Kupp back for the Rams.
Yeah, he was targeted a lot early, but towards the end, not a lot going on for him.
I guess the player of the game has to be Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Quick word on that boy. 21 touches, 209 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was relentless. You're talking about a guy not breaking tackles. This guy, he breaks 5 or 6 tackles a go.
Yeah, his yards after contact is
He's stretching as he's
straight up
falling over.
yeah, it's good.
He got a couple of touchdowns by not putting his knee down and managing to kind of levitate and get the ball over the line. It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
What's going on there? It's a shame really they didn't come away with the win.
Well, he's very similar to his old man. His old man was a tight end for the Broncos.
Yeah.
This is going back some, and again, he'd do some weird things with his body and catch things in certain ways, and you look and go, you shouldn't really be able to do that.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, well, it's the fact that he catch them and then turn around and run. You're like, no, when you caught that, you should have gone to the ground. It was a bit weird.
Yeah. On the other
Genetics.
side, the run game was shared between Todd Gurley and Malcolm Brown
Yeah,
rather than Darrell Henderson. 14 carries for Gurley, 97 yards. Malcolm Brown, 11 carries, 53 yards, but 2 touchdowns for him. So it was nice to see they were doing what we thought they were going to do. They were going to use Gurley but protect him a little bit, and Malcolm Brown took up the slack.
Yeah,
As the change of pace back. It was really unfortunate for Carolina. They started slow. They were 13-3 down at the half, 10 points each in the third quarter. They scored 14 points in the fourth, so they were up. Oh no, sorry, they got close. Had to do an onside kick, didn't work, and then Todd Gurley got the first down to ice the game, basically. But this should be encouraging for Panthers fans that they came up against the Super Bowl finalists and only lost by 3.
yeah.
Considering where they were last year.
But historically, the team that loses the Super Bowl doesn't necessarily do that well. So how encouraging should it be? And the thing is, the Rams did exactly what they did last season. There's nothing different from the way that they came out and said, we're going to run it, and we're going to go play short throws to Woods and to Cooper Kupp. So yeah, it was very much the same Rams that we've seen for a long time. Weird thing though was that we didn't see much from Aaron Donald really at all.
Well, I think that's the game plan for the Panthers. They managed to keep it away from him for the most part, and McCaffrey found a way to break through.
It helps that Cam Newton didn't really run at all in the game. I don't think.
Well, that's good to see. You don't want him to see him running too much.
He played very different to how we've seen him previously, which might end up being a good thing for him. Well, will end up being a good thing for him because he's not getting smashed.
As was being mentioned in pre-season, with that injury, he's changed his throwing motion, and the criticism the King always had was that he just launched it straight at your face from 5 yards.
He's still gunning it.
He's trying to gun it.
Yeah, he's still throwing it up. He didn't throw a single deep ball that I saw though. I mean, I might not have seen one, but from what I saw, there was none launched downfield.
I think the playbook's going to change to work that. Next up, we've got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Seattle Seahawks. This was supposed to be an easy game for the Seahawks. They didn't make it easy.
No. Bengals impressed me in this game. I know you don't want to hear this, but they look different to the Bengals that we've seen, just in the way that they do things. But yeah,
it was a career game for Andy Dalton. 418 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He lost 2 fumbles though, so not completely.
It's the first time that
Dalton.
he's got over 400 yards without AJ Green.
Yeah,
but he's got 2 wide receivers who are now good. 2 good wide receivers.
Well, yeah, we've got to talk about John Ross briefly then.
Oh.
7 of 12 catches for 158 yards and those 2 touchdowns.
One of them he had
finally looked good.
Terrifying sidestep. Just left the defender sort of going, oh, where did he go? Because he just completely tore him. Those 2 sidesteps.
He smashed the 40-yard dash in the.
Yeah. He's lightning.
Yeah.
But it's the fact he keeps his pace changing direction. It was unbelievable. And I also like Tyler Boyd as well. I think he's great. Eiferd's good. They've got a nice little setup there, but they're always lacking that X factor, what makes them a good team. But no, this week I thought very impressive, and they don't look Bengal-ish.
What?
Well, there was no late hits. There was, all
right,
the stuff
okay,
that's
yeah.
Bengalish. It wasn't there. It's an interesting time to be a Bengals fan.
Well, if you say so. Sam Hubbard's got 2 sacks.
Take your Steelers glasses off for a second, will you? Jesus Christ.
I am. Just being objective. I don't think they lost the game, Dave.
You couldn't be objective.
They lost the game
by a point.
Yeah.
And you said yourself it was a game that everyone expected them to get absolutely mullered.
Yeah. But I think, again, maybe the Seahawks had the same problem that the Browns had, in that they expected to walk it. But the difference is the Seahawks are used to coming round and scraping victories.
Yeah,
Browns aren't used to that
Seahawks are a very good team.
Yeah.
It was good to see DJ Metcalf starting.
DK Metcalf.
That's what I said. Might not have been. No.
Just under 100 yards, I think, for DK.
Yeah.
What was it?
Just off an ankle injury as well.
89 yards on 4 catches.
Yeah. Good player.
Very good. And he like I said, he was just picking the ball off defenders as well. So
yeah, he was the guy I was raving about in the draft. I mean, imagine him in college against guys who are of lesser standard. He just looked like a monster.
yeah. Quentin Jefferson on the defensive front for the Seahawks got 2 sacks. Jadeveon Clowney in his first game for the Seahawks got a sack as well. And yeah, they came away with the victory in the end. I think it was a good game for Seattle. They managed to work their way through it and figure out how to win. The problem for the Seahawks, and it's something that our Seahawk Dave mate keeps talking about, is that they're so predictable on offense. It's run the ball, third and long scramble.
Yeah.
And they don't ever change it.
I've got Carson in my fantasy team, so I don't mind that.
Yeah, but if it's third and long, it means they haven't done much in those first 2 run plays because the defense is expecting it.
Yeah, he did all right this week for me.
Well, okay, but that's because Russell Wilson managed to scramble around and get the ball away. So they're going to need to change how they do that. I don't think they're going to, which is why I'm not predicting the Seahawks do an awful lot this season.
No, I agree. I don't think they'll be in the playoffs, but they'll be an entertaining team to watch.
Yes.
The thing in terms of rushing in that game that really stood out is the fact that Giovanni Bernard got more rushing attempts than Joe Mixon.
Yeah, he was very quiet, wasn't he, Mixon, in his first game?
Was he injured?
No.
Because he only had 6 carries. I would have expected him to be having 15 or 16 carries, double that easily.
I'm sure a lot of fantasy owners expected that as well.
And then some.
Next game was the LA Chargers, apparently at home, against the Indianapolis Colts. You'd never know it if you listened to crowd noise.
No, I thought it was a behind closed doors game. I didn't think it was.
This one went to overtime, Dave.
It did.
Weird. It ended up with the Chargers winning 30 points to 24. Good game for Jacoby Brissett.
Better game for Austin Eckler.
Only 6 incomplete passes,
Yep.
190 yards, 2 touchdowns. No interceptions is the important one for a new QB coming in there. Marlon Mack, 25 carries, 174 yards and a touchdown. That was great.
It sounds better than it is, that 175 yards.
Well, it's not bad, is it?
It's 25 carries. You expect anyone on 25 carries to get a decent amount of yards.
I don't know about that, Dave.
Yeah.
You've been playing Madden too much, I think.
I haven't. I wish I had.
Malik Hooker got an interception as well, so those are positives for the Colts.
Yeah.
And they managed to force overtime after scoring 8 points at the end of the fourth quarter. Bad news for them is that they were opposite Austin Eckler, who had 158 scrimmage yards and 3 touchdowns. And Keelan Allen, who caught 8 of 10 passes for 123 yards and a touchdown as well.
Yeah.
Wasn't vintage Rivers, but this was a great result in the end for the Chargers.
It was a great result for me as well because I had Eckler in my fantasy team.
You lucky boy.
I know, right? I think it was a great time for Eckler to do this because he's the running back who's taking over. Our friend held out. I kind of expected the Chargers to win this game, so it's not really that much of a surprise that they won it. It's just how close
It shouldn't have been that close.
No, it was a very, very good game.
Squeaky bum time for people on the bet and fantasy owners, but we just mentioned Melvin Gordon there.
Yes.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Melvin Gordon should have been playing this game, but he's holding out. He was offered $10 million a year to keep playing for the Chargers. He wanted 13. So as a result, he's holding out. He was due to earn just over $5.6 million this year, but with every game he sits out, he's going to get fined. He's going to lose out on money.
Yep.
But into perspective, if you haven't seen the NFL before, Melvin Gordon scores 10 touchdowns in each of his last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So he's worth his weight.
He is, but when Eckler's coming in and playing the way he is, because Eckler's more of a receiving back as well. Without
Well, Eckler had a good season last year with Melvin Gordon.
Absolutely. It's the old 1-2 punch to coin a person that we know. But no, I think it was important for the Chargers to go, look, we don't need you as much as you think that we do.
Yet again, Dave, a running back has over-egged their worth.
I know, shocking, right?
I know, yeah. Unless you're desperate and you pay them like the Cowboys, then it doesn't always have a good ending.
Nope.
We'll see. They reckon that Gordon's going to come back between week 6 and week 8 because otherwise he will void all of his money for the year.
So week 7 then.
No, well, either week 6, 7, or 8, depending on how much he can afford to lose.
Get on with it.
Otherwise, yeah, he's not eligible to be an unrestricted free agent, so he has to come back at some point. And also, if Eckler keeps putting up these numbers, then he's going to come
back
quickly.
and just not be in the team.
Yeah. Well, next game then, the San Francisco 49ers went away to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another game down in Florida. This was, again, another hot game.
Yeah, there was one point.
49ers won 31 points to 17.
There's one point where it showed the thermometer on the wall and it was at 120.
Yeah.
Jesus
I'm not sure
Christ.
that's right.
No, I know, but that's what
over
it said.
50 degrees
Jesus
Celsius.
Christ. Yeah, no, that was a bit high for me.
Yeah.
Good game, though.
Yeah, great game. Except if you're Jameis Winston, unfortunately.
Yes.
Because 194 yards passing, 1 touchdown, but 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Seems to be the story of his career. Sherman got a pick 6 for the 49ers. That's good to see. He underperformed last year. For the Bucks, Ronald Jones was probably their best player. 93 yards from scrimmage. And Chris Godwin in his first game for them since coming across from the Chiefs. 3 catches for 53 yards and a touchdown. But not a great start for Tampa Bay at home. New head coach. Again, we've heard this before. New players. Hoping for a fresh start. And it hasn't really worked out.
No, and the fact San Francisco put 31 on the board, and I think there was 4 touchdowns scrubbed off.
Yeah.
I mean, I had George Kittle in my fantasy team.
He kept throwing touchdowns and kept getting called back.
Yeah, he had 3.
Offensive holding or something.
Yeah, it was insane. There was one where it was illegal formation. Yeah. And I think it was the second in about 5 minutes that was chalked off, and I was thinking, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they scored 31. It could have been 50. The Bucks look trash. They have to get better. They just do. And I don't know whether it's because they're worse or because the 49ers are legit. I don't know. It's difficult to know.
Yeah, we'll see a lot more in week 2, I guess. But it's got to be encouraging for San Fran. They had a terrible season last year. Didn't win away, I don't think.
Yeah.
So yeah, to get a win first week away on the other side of the country.
And to do it without Garoppolo being amazing either.
Well,
Garoppolo came in, was steady, did a good job, and the rest of the team was great.
No Hollywood numbers, but
No, he's absolutely fine though. There's nothing wrong with it. He didn't make any mistakes. Don't think he had any interceptions, or did he? Can't remember. But yeah, the fact is that you had a team that won because of everyone in it, rather than when they went on that 6 on the bounce.
Yeah.
Not last season before. They were winning almost because of him. This season, they won the game, not in spite of, but
not relying on him.
Yeah.
So much.
Big positive for him.
Much as you can't rely on a quarterback.
You're talking to a
not
Denver
to say
fan.
he's not great.
Talking to a Denver fan. We haven't relied on a quarterback in years.
I can't say great this year. Not to say he's not great, but yeah. Let's go on to the next game then. That was a NFC East matchup. The New York Giants went to Dallas to face the Cowboys. And them Cowboys came away with a win.
End of the first quarter, I was lured into a full sense of security because it was 7-all. I was like, okay.
What do you mean security?
This could be quite
interesting. Because you're a secret
interesting.
Giants fan, aren't you?
No. No, the wife is when we was watching that. But I was like, this could become quite an interesting game. And then it just wasn't very quickly.
No. Yeah, it was 7-all at the end of the first quarter. But in the second quarter, Dallas put up another 2 scores on the board. Another 2 touchdowns in the third quarter to Giants 3. Giants scored a consolatory touchdown in the fourth. But yeah, 35 points to 17. Dak Prescott, 405 yards and 4 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. He's not really an interception machine anyway.
Nope.
It's great to see him get 4 touchdowns on the board. Passing, Ezekiel Elliott, just 63 yards from scrimmage, but a touchdown, which I'm sure he liked after getting his contract extension. On the other side, Saquon, 139 yards from scrimmage. No touchdown on that one. Evan Engram was the best player, I guess, for the Giants.
Yep.
11 of 14 targets for 116 yards and a touchdown. So a great game for the tight end. Never really did that much last season, but I guess with OBJ not there, he's got to get some targets. And getting targeted 11 times by Eli is pretty good.
There's not really a huge amount else that he's going to go to.
No. Sterling Shepard, I guess. He got a concussion, I think, in the game. Eli had over 300 yards passing.
Yeah.
and no interceptions, which is weird.
Yeah, and Daniel Jones came in as well at the end.
Yeah, 4 throws, I think it was. Other good results there for Michael Gallup. He caught 7 of 7 for 158 yards for the Cowboys.
Gallup.
Very good. They just seem to have these good crossing routes and were able to cut into the secondary.
It was really interesting because last season, the Cowboys, for the past couple of years, the Cowboys have always been doing the same thing. We've got a good, solid, strong run game.
Yeah.
And the passing game is almost a deflection of it. We're going to make you block the run.
Yeah.
And the passing is then a byproduct of that strong run. Now they've got a new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. Used to play for the Lions, and I think he played for the Cowboys as well. He's now the offensive coordinator, and they're very much a pass team.
Well, they've got some new weapons, haven't they? I mean, Amari had another good game.
Unbelievable.
106 yards and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Jarwin. I was trying to remember the name. Jesus. I didn't write it down, but he had a touchdown. And Old Man Witten.
Yeah.
Better mention him. 3 of 4 catches, 15 yards and a touchdown.
Watching him go over the line, it was like watching erosion. It was so slow. Even falls
Doesn't
in
matter.
slow motion. It was unbelievable.
He was never quick,
but
relentless.
Yep.
And it was great to see him back, if only to do that. They've definitely missed having a tight end.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even name that. We said this last time. I can't even remember their tight end from
Jeff
last season.
Swaim.
Ooh, what a name.
Yeah, I think he did World of Worlds. Oh, it was Jeff Wayne. Yeah. Good result for the Cowboys. Obviously, at home, it's important to get off to a winning start, and when you're playing a division rival.
It was one of those tricky games where you're not going to get much credit if you do win it.
No.
And if you lose
against
it,
the Giants as well,
yeah.
who are looking free fall.
Yeah,
their secondary looks trash as well, by the way.
Yeah. No, I think
Randall Cobb as well was another one.
Yeah, Randall Cobb's his touchdown was great.
Yeah,
really good route, found space, and just kept on accelerating.
Yeah, and no one was stopping him.
Yeah, no, it was.
But there wasn't a lot of stopping going on there, so
it was a good game for the Cowboys. Not a great game for the Giants.
No. Let's talk about a game that should make everyone feel uncomfortable.
Go on.
It was a sister kisser.
A what?
It was the Detroit Lions and the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, how uncomfortable do you feel there? It was a sister kiss. It was a draw. We've got a draw, damn it, Dave, on our first week.
That's all right.
Hoping to not have one. They finished 27-all, but you wouldn't have thought it. But at the end of the third quarter,
yeah,
the Detroit Lions scored 17 points in the second quarter, and the Arizona Cardinals had scored 6 points through 2 field goals. At the end of the third quarter, it was this bad, Dave. I put Kyler Murray into my fantasy team. At the end of the third quarter, his fantasy points were 0.24.
Solid point.
I was beginning to waver a little bit, just a little bit, in my faith in Kyler Murray. If we look at the Cards drives, it started with a punt, then an interception, then a punt, field goal, punt, field goal. That was the first 3 quarters for the Cardinals. Fourth quarter, it all changed, and they had a field goal and 2 touchdowns. So finally, they managed to sort themselves out. David Johnson had 137 scrimmage yards and a touchdown. The evergreen Larry Fitzgerald, 8 catches for 113 yards and a touchdown. Just, there's nothing else you can say about Larry Fitzgerald.
He's all right.
Yeah. No one's ever said just that about him. 2 sacks for Terrell Suggs, 1 for Chandler Jones on the defense for them. Was this the Detroit Lions falling asleep, or was this the Cardinals finally waking up?
I think these are 2 teams who are probably about level in terms of how good they are.
Mm-hmm.
One had a good start, the other one had a bad start. One had a bad finish, the other one had a good finish. And I think it's just that whole thing of the unstoppable force against the immovable object.
Yeah.
2 teams are about as good as each other, ended in the draw, kind of what you expect.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that comeback though. 18 points in the fourth quarter for Arizona.
The thing that was a concern though is last year, I think it was Cousins had the most tipped passes. Last season, he had 7 tipped passes last year. Kyler Murray had 4 in this game.
Yeah.
That's going to be the problem when you sign a midget, basically. So, I mean,
it's not really fair though, Dave. He was always backed up into his end zone when he was doing these drives. It wasn't easy at all for him.
There's one where he started on the 1. And it was
Yeah.
just like, Jesus Christ, this is bad.
His own guard tackled him on one play.
Oh, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. His guard's looking around going, who shall I tackle? I'm going to nail my midget quarterback. It's going to be amazing.
Well, he's too tall, obviously, because he still got hit. He should be a bit smaller to avoid that. On the other side, better give some shouts out to TJ Hawkinson, his
Yep.
first game.
The man who you said
first
was
round
basically
tight
a
end.
blocker and not a receiver.
Well, he is.
He's just not. It's just a lie.
He caught 6 of 9 targets for 131 yards and a touchdown, so it was okay. And Danny Amendola,
His sidestep was amazing.
104 yards and a touchdown for that
Yeah.
boy. Yes. So it was a good game for the Lions for the most part. It got to overtime. They both kicked a field goal.
Yeah.
And then couldn't score again. So that was it. 27-all, and we've got a draw. And then the last game on Sunday. Oh no, sorry. We'll go straight on to Monday night football.
No.
What?
No. Let's go
No.
back one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No one wants to talk about that game, Dave.
Oh, yes, we do.
No.
So the Patriots against the Steelers at Gillette. What's it called? Gillette Field?
Yeah.
Gillette Stadium?
Yeah. Gillette Park.
Patriots 33, Steelers 3. 3.
Yeah.
So Roethlisberger doing his best Trubisky impression. Scoring 2 points. So Brady 341 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Edelman also 1 of 1 completion, 32 yards. Edelman has a better passer rating than Roethlisberger did. Roethlisberger 27 of 47 attempts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Comment?
Let's talk about
No.
positives.
I want to hear.
Yeah, I'm going to comment about some positives. So Juju, 6 catches on 8 targets for 78 yards. James Washington catches but got 51 yards on 6 targets. Bud Dupree got a sack on Tom Brady, which is almost unheard of for someone to get that close to him. And no flag either.
Apparently, he's been banned for 6 weeks by the NFL, though. Because
Yeah,
you're
not allowed
allowed
to do
sack.
it,
No.
And Sony Michel, we obviously game planned against him because he had 14 yards on 15 carries.
Yeah.
So we managed to stop one player.
One of those was an 8-yard loss. So technically,
okay, right. But that's
got
the final stat.
23. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to look for some positives, Dave. Damn it, come on.
First round pick Rex Burkhead, 44 yards on 8 carries.
So okay, let's look at So what the Patriots did was they had Philip Dorsett went 4 of 4 for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Edelman got
was a
83
great
yards
route as well.
Yeah.
He ran inside, changed direction again, and burned the field. He was
Josh
brilliant.
Gordon had 73 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
We managed to stop Sony Michel, but we forgot that they had other running backs. So Rex Burkhead and James White got close to 100 yards each.
What about
And Dietrich Wise got a sack as well.
your boy Devin Bush from Michigan?
Well, again, it was just one of those games that got away from us so quickly. We were down 20-0 at half time, and they had another 10 points in the third quarter.
Yep.
And we scored a field goal.
Yeah.
So the game was over, and we were chasing the game. It's just one of those eternally frustrating things about the Steelers that they just seem to always crumble against the Patriots. We never learn our lessons. We play zone defense against a quarterback that I can't think of a better one that picks apart zone.
Yeah.
You need to play man defense against Tom Brady to have any chance and rush 4. But we don't do that. The one time we've done it, we actually won last season.
Yeah, but you've had success playing zone against him before.
Not much. You have to mix it up, and you have to do at least some man coverage. Surprisingly, Dave, I haven't watched this game fully. I saw the air quote highlights of this game, and I've listened to other Steeler fans' analysis of the game. Yeah, it comes down to what we always say, that we just never seem to game plan properly against this team. Whether we want to lose against them or not, I don't know, but it just seems that we always seem to mess it up. And I know it's only game 1, but someone should get fired for this.
I'm not sure about that.
Not necessarily Mike Tomlin, but
not sure about that. That's a bit of an overreaction.
Maybe Keith Butler. You've had an entire off-season to plan this first game, and you've completely shat the bed. I mean, it just looked embarrassing.
You can't fire someone after losing against the best team in football on the first day of the season.
Well, then play the Chiefs.
Shut up, you idiot. There was a really nice part afterwards where, after the game, Carl Van Nooy's wife gave birth and the whole team FaceTimed his wife in hospital and with the newborn baby. I thought that was quite a nice little touch at the end. I mean, the cameras were there, so how much of it was a publicity stunt is a question.
Well, for the Patriots?
No, I know, right? AB wasn't there, though.
No. Well, I'm surprised, actually.
No,
I suppose it wasn't the bloody delivery theatre knowing him. Any chance to get on camera.
Yeah, it would have been...
He likes Facebook Live
It would have been typically the only thing he wouldn't have caught as well.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I suppose for looking forwards, if we can win our next game, I think we've won our next 3. Looking at our schedule, it's going to be tough for week 2. We're playing the Seahawks, Dave.
Oh, okay.
But I think we can beat them at home, and if we do that, I think we got the next 2 in the bag as well. So we could be 3-1 by week 5.
Well, you could be 0-4.
Could then be 3-3 after that. But just being honest, yeah, it's not. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Horrific, absolutely horrific.
The only other thing I will say is that the
someone
Patriots
needs to be sacked.
Looked like Patriots because we've seen them before where they win the Super Bowl and first game of the following season they get torched by. I
hadn't seen him throw it over the top, Dave, in 3 years. So he was able to launch it this game. It was so embarrassing.
Well, there was one point he threw like a 75-yard. I thought, Jesus, I didn't know he had it in him.
He doesn't. Well, he didn't.
Well, he obviously does.
Yeah. What he took on the sideline to get that throw off, I don't know. But for that one play, it was, horrific result. The worst thing I could have thought of, apart from maybe a Ravens loss. But it's out of the way now. It's out of the way.
Losing the Ravens.
Losing to the Ravens is probably the worst thing in the world. But second to that is Patriots.
It would be worse if you lost to the Browns 33-3. Christ.
Let's talk about Monday night then, Dave. Come on, we're almost there. 2 games. First up, it's the Houston Texans at the New Orleans Saints. This was an incredible game. Ended up 28-30 to the Saints.
It did. I didn't see this game.
I
did. I told you this story already. So I decided I was going to stay up for the Broncos game.
Yeah.
So I went to bed for a couple of hours. My alarm went off. I must have turned it off in my sleep because I didn't wake up. Woke up in the morning, was like, nuts. So I had to completely just turn my alarm off, turn my phone off so I didn't find the result.
Yeah.
Came downstairs. It's all right because I taped both games, turned on the Broncos game, which was straight afterwards as Will Lutz was kicking the winning field goal. It's like, now I know the score, so I'm not going to bother watching it. How annoying is that?
Well, I think you should go back and rewatch it, Dave.
I haven't watched the highlights yet, but I will do. So I know very little about what actually happened during the game.
This was an incredible game. No score in the first quarter, but Houston got out to a 14-3 lead at half-time. New Orleans came back. They scored 14 points in the third quarter. Houston scored 7. And then New Orleans scored another 13 points in the fourth. But it was back and forth. The whole game, back and forth. We'll talk about some numbers quickly. Alvin Kamara, 196 yards from scrimmage. Ridiculous. Michael Thomas, 10 of 13 catches for 123 yards. Latavius Murray, he stepped in as the change of pace back and did very well for the Saints as well. On the other side, DeAndre Hopkins, 8 of 13 catches for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson played very well. It's nice for Houston. They've not had a running game for years. No. Yet they've now got these 2 guys just come in and they seem to work quite well together.
Lamar Miller's been okay.
Yeah, but in fits and spurts. Yeah. That's the thing, is they don't have a kind of consistent game there, but they do seem to work those 2 very well. And Kenny Stills got a touchdown on his debut as well.
Yep.
Trade across from Miami. And Deshaun Watson only took 4 sacks, which is great for Deshaun Watson in that game.
That's like part-time for him.
But to cut it short, Watson got the Texans the lead with under a minute to go. Like 43 seconds left. He got the touchdown to get them a point in the lead after... Who is it? I want to say Randy Bullock, but it's not Randy Bullock. Kymie Fairbairn is the Texans kicker now.
I saw this.
He missed the first extra point, but someone knocked him, so he had another go at it.
Yeah.
And got the point to take him to 28-27. 43 seconds left. All the Texans had to do was stop them from getting in field goal range, and they didn't do it.
No.
This is the 4th time now in 3 years that they've stopped. They've lost a game that they were leading with less than a minute to go. Because the Texans defense can't play prevent defense.
Yeah, but with this one, they're playing against an elite quarterback. So you kind of just go, okay, it is what it is.
But they've got to pass the ball. You've got to stop them. You've got to stop them, Dave.
You see, I'm a glass half full kind of a guy, as you know.
Just saying, all right? Texans supposed to be good enough on defense.
Are they?
And it's not fair on Deshaun Watson. He's getting them in position to win, and they're not delivering.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I thought that the Saints would win this game reasonably comfortably, and the fact that they only lost by 2, again, I think there's definite positives in it for them as well.
It was like a 58-yard Will Lutz field goal.
Yep.
If it wasn't in a dome, there's no chance he's making that. But
he'd make it a mile high.
There's plenty of times. Okay, maybe a mile high.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of times when that dome's helped out New Orleans in last second field
Massively.
goals. A great game. I'd advise watching it just for the entertainment factor. It was back and forth all the way. Great performances by all the key players. I'm looking forward to seeing Houston for the rest of the season, actually.
No, I'm still not fussed. I'm still not sold. I haven't seen the
You
highlights.
haven't seen it?
No, that's what I'm saying.
You've seen one kick by Will Lutz. That's not very nice, is it?
Yeah, what a kick.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, I haven't seen the highlights, so I'm still not sold. But
watch the highlights, Dave.
Yep.
You'll be convinced.
I will. Only because you've told me to, though, Jim.
Thank you. Last game, and then we'll do the picks.
Talking of kickers, just for 1 second, the Browns got a new kicker and missed again.
Well,
I mean, when are they going to get a break? Seriously.
There's a few teams that have problems with kickers. Don't worry. The last game, Monday night, then was the Denver Broncos, Dave. Let's talk about this in depth. Against Punk's Oakland Raiders.
Yep.
Still in Oakland.
Yeah. For the moment.
This was a surprising result, for you at least.
Yes and no. I mean, first and foremost,
yes,
Derek Carr played superbly. Do you want to give the stat rundown?
No, you can do Carr.
Well, Carr, so I think he went 17 without missing, without an incompletion or something like that. It was ridiculous. But every single throw that every single pass was very quick. I'm not going to get sacked straight off. There weren't many times when he was hanging around behind his line.
Well, that's Gruden saying you don't want to wait around for Von Miller and
so he negated the pass rush. Our line was strong. Our defensive line was stronger than their offensive line.
Yep.
But it was negated by how quick he was getting the ball out. It's just good.
It's the Patriot way.
It's just good quarterback play. That's all it is. They targeted Isaac Yedem without any shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
They used Waller really well. He's got decent hands on him. And it was just where one team started better than another team, and then for the rest of the game it was reasonably close. So
they were 14-0 up at half time with the Raiders, and then you scored 6 points in the third quarter, and then you both scored 10 points in the fourth.
But in the second
24-16 final score.
Yeah, in the second quarter we had opportunities to score touchdowns. And there was one point we were within field goal range and Flacco took a sack, and before you know it you're out of field goal range and you're having to punt. So I think for the most part it was really quite even, but it was just that the Raiders started better than we did. Abraham looked pretty good. He flies into tackles a bit too much. There was one point where he got left for dead. I mean, he made a couple of really good strong tackles, so you can't really
he loves to come down into the box and make a tackle.
But he's going to have to calm down a bit with that when outside of the box, because he just commits a bit to it. And when he's playing against, I'm not being funny, but Denver's wide receivers aren't really elite. Cortland Sutton's still young, and Sanders was a few years ago. But when they're coming up against someone like Hopkins or even AJ Green, he's going to get sold a good one. But there was a point where Deshaun Hamilton went into the end zone and the ball bounced off his chest. At that point, we would have got 14 points in the second quarter, and we would have been level. So it is what it is. A team who played well against a team who didn't play so well, and they ended up winning by a score, so can't really moan too much.
No, just quickly, obviously Cortland Sutton you mentioned there, he caught 7 of 8 passes for 120 yards.
Big weapon.
Emmanuel Sanders got his touchdown. Royce Freeman had a better production than Philip Lindsay as well. Yeah,
Freeman was an interesting one. There's a couple of plays where he started with both backs down on the field. Noah Fant was really acting more as a blocker than he was. I mean, so Juwan James, where he was our stellar line signing from, again, the Dolphins. Everyone signed someone from the Dolphins. And he was the highest paid lineman until I think Trent Brown was signed by the Raiders. So he's what is
Right.
Yeah, we've had problems with our offensive line for a long time.
Yeah.
He went out injured in the first or second quarter, I think it was. So again, we brought in Elijah Wilkinson, who is essentially a guard playing tackle, which is not ideal. And from that point, Noah Fant was basically restricted to blocking.
Yeah.
So that negated a weapon for Flacco, and it's a shame that happened, but it is what it is. So because of that, there's a couple of times we played 2 tailbacks, and Freeman had a couple of good runs.
We better mention on the other side, Josh Jacobs.
Yes,
23 carries for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, there was
Great display for the rookie.
particular. There's 2 things that I saw of him. One was where he blocked Adam Gotsis, which amazes me because Gotsis is twice his size. There was also where he broke 3 tackles and made yards. But on the flip side of that, there was another point where Philip Lindsay blocked one of the Raiders guys. So it was one of those games where the little guys were blocking the big guys. It was pretty good. It was an entertaining game. That's all I asked for. And I said at the beginning of the season, Broncos aren't going to be great, but we're going to be bloody entertaining to watch, and we were.
Last 2 stats quickly. Tyrell Williams, 6 of 7 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown. Good for him, the former Charger. And another first-round pick for the Raiders. Cleveland Farrell got a sack in his first game, so I'm sure Punk would want me to mention that.
And there was a pretty bad injury as well to Garyon Connolly.
Yes, well, although it looked bad at the time, but reports are saying he's going to be okay.
Yeah. So anyone who didn't see, it was Jonathan Abraham came in doing another one of his spear challenges, got done for lowering his helmet, initiating contact.
Yeah.
And his leg swung round and smashed Connolly on the head. The first thing it reminded me is Shazier, because it was that impact down on the head. No, not but in terms of the way it was, and the neck compressed to the point where when they put him on the stretcher, they didn't remove his helmet. They put him on completely as he was, and it's kind of like, this could be really bad. I mean, luckily he's all right.
We didn't mention the Eric Weddle injury. Did you see that? The amount of blood come out of his head.
Yeah, I don't know.
The laceration on his
That was
head.
a flesh wound. It happened while he had his helmet on, though. I don't know what. Maybe Antonio Brown's got a point about these new helmets.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe we should all wear leather helmets from the 1920s.
We should, yeah. So let's talk about all the games then, Dave. We've just been through. Let's talk about your picks against the King. So it was the King versus the People the first week. The King did submit picks before the week started.
I was going to say, did he do them this morning?
He did do them this morning. He did do them in time. You can check them out on our website, jimandtheking.com/King versus the People, I think is how you get to there. Just go to jimandtheking.com.
Link
it's
in
on
the
it's on the menu
below. Footnote, link Jim.
You should be very pleased with yourself, Dave. You got 12 of 16 correct.
Yes.
Very good, including...
That's standard for me.
Obviously, the draw didn't work for either you or the King.
I should get a point for that.
No. Your incorrect results were the Jets. You picked to beat the Bills.
Yeah.
You said the Steelers were going to beat the Patriots, so it's your fault that the Steelers lost that game. And you obviously picked your Broncos to beat the Oakland Raiders. That didn't work out.
Nope.
Lions was a draw.
Yep.
King got 13 points out of 16. So he
bastard.
beat you by 1. The King is beating the People right now. He also picked the Jets to win. He picked the Browns to beat the Titans because he's secretly a Browns fan.
Yeah.
That was it.
Obviously,
and the Lions draw.
Obviously picked the Bills to win.
No.
No?
He picked the Jets.
Oh, I picked the Jets. Okay.
Yeah. So we're down by a point, Dave.
I got 12. What more do you want from me?
13 or 14, please?
No,
maybe 16?
I'm sticking with 12.
You did well, but not good enough, unfortunately. This week, then, we'll look at the games. I'll ask for your pick, Dave, but we have got a new challenger for the King.
Oh, have we?
I haven't got the King's picks here, but I promise you he won't listen to this
I'll
or look
his.
at the other stuff before Thursday.
I'll do his.
Yeah. So our challenger this week is Paul, who's a Redskins fan.
Okay.
Challenged before. And an avid listener to the show. Thanks, Paul.
Did he win before?
Can't remember. Paul would know.
I'm sorry, Paul.
I didn't check that for last year. Sorry, I didn't go
Paul,
back
for
and
being
check.
so harsh on your Redskins, but they are a bit shit.
Well, he's harsh about your Broncos as well.
So he should be. We're shit
You know
as
what?
well.
It's a shame that Philly Cy's not here this week because he hates Philly Cy.
Does he?
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah. So, week 2 starts us off on Thursday night with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers. Almost got that wrong.
Panthers.
Paul has also gone for the Panthers.
Yeah, I think it's the
I think it's the sensible pick.
It's the sensible pick. They'll win it just with their run game. McCaffrey, can you see anyone in that
Jesus.
Bucs defense stopping McCaffrey, really?
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as when you had Lev Bell at the height of his powers. You go into it thinking we can just lean on him because he's so good that we can just lean on him and go.
And it's in Carolina as well, so
it's one of those games I'm not going to stay up for it because
division game. Panthers aren't going to want to lose that one.
Yeah, there's not enough in it to make me want to watch it.
So then Sunday starts with the Dallas Cowboys at the Washington Redskins.
You're going to go there. Okay.
NFC East.
Yep. Cowboys, Redskins.
Yeah.
In Dallas, is it?
No, in Washington.
In Washington. Okay. I want to go Redskins now. No, I'm going to go Dallas.
Going Dallas?
Yeah.
Paul went Dallas.
As he carries on this trend of not going for the team that you support.
Yeah, you got to think with your head, not your heart. And I admire Paul for that.
Yeah, I think
I respect him for that.
Dallas are the favourites.
It wasn't easy for him to write that.
Yeah.
Next up, it's an AFC South matchup. It's the Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans.
Titans are again my sneaky good team.
Did you see what they did against the Chargers? Those Colts. They were close. They were so close.
Titans won against the eventual Super Bowl winners. What's your point? I can't sit here on this podcast having bigged up the Titans and then not pick them. Come on.
Yeah, Paul's also gone Titans. So we're in lockstep at the moment. Yeah.
Yep.
Next up, it's the Seattle Seahawks at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh.
I've told you I think we're going to scrape it.
Seahawks at Steelers.
At Steelers.
Steelers.
I'd rather you pick Seahawks on this day after last week.
No, Steelers. I'm all in.
Okay. Paul's gone for the Seahawks.
Okay.
Thanks, Paul.
No, it's a legit move.
Yeah, it's legit. Yeah, fine.
Completely
Whatever.
mullered last week.
I can't blame anyone after week's one performance.
What's your pick on that one?
I said Steelers.
You reckon Steelers?
Yeah, I do. Back at home, someone's going to have to get a rocket up the arse for that last performance. Buffalo Bills at New York Giants.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Oh, fucking hell.
Not tasty.
No, I think that's a game that's either going to be a score fest or is going to end up
snooze fest.
6-3. Yeah.
I can see some running happening in this game.
Eli. I reckon it's going to be the Giants.
Ooh. Okay. Well,
I've got more. This is going to be the game of the backs, I think. It's going to be Singletary versus Barkley.
Yeah. This is the coming out show for Singletary, I think.
I think the Bills will win, but I'm going to go Giants.
So, what? All right. Well, Paul's gone for the Bills.
Yeah. Sensible.
Yep. Next up, it's the New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins.
Patriots.
Yeah, Paul's also gone Patriots.
Dolphins are dog shit.
Jacksonville Jaguars at Houston Texans, AFC South matchup.
The quarterback position. If Foles was still in there, it's like, ooh, this is a good game. It's interesting. You've got this. I'm not feeling it. Not with
Gardner Minshew.
Cashew nut at quarterback. I am gonna go for Texans.
Okay, so's Paul.
Yep.
So you're back on track again with each other. Then we've got an NFC North matchup. It's the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers.
Vikings.
Yeah.
I mentioned previously that I thought they were a very, very good team. I think they win that division, and this is one of the key games that they win, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, the Packers looked much better on Thursday. Obviously, only 10 points, but it was against a great defense.
It was in the very good defense, yeah.
Okay. I think, maybe the Vikings.
It wouldn't shock me if it went the other way, but I'll go
Paul's
Vikings.
gone for the Vikings as well. Yeah. Then we've got the LA Chargers at Detroit Lions.
I really, really, really want to go Lions.
Yeah, your team to watch. Yeah. Detroit Lions.
It's not my team to watch. I just like watching the Lions. They always do something weird that's fun. Okay. Hence this week, getting a draw.
Yeah.
There's no way I can go for them after they've just got a draw against the Cards. So I had to go Chargers.
Okay. Yeah, Paul's also gone for the Chargers. This one should be interesting. The San Francisco 49ers at Cincinnati Bengals.
Ooh, that is interesting. I'm going to go Bengals. Why you roll your eyes? Get your head out your
You
arse.
shouldn't
and just
ever-
be neutral for a second.
Just trying to help you out, all right? Don't pick Bengals.
Doesn't
There's a
matter
rule
to
of
me.
thumb.
Doesn't matter to me this month. This
Paul's
time,
picked
I'm not-
Bengals, but I think that's because his son's a Bengals fan, so maybe a little bit of a... I know what he's doing there. Wink, wink. I can see you, Paul.
So-
Can't justify that to your son if you didn't pick the Bengals.
Yeah, fair play.
Next up, Arizona Cardinals
Yeah,
at Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens.
You're very confident on that one.
Yeah.
Did you not see the fourth quarter for the Cardinals?
Did you not see the entire game for the Ravens?
And did I not tell you that you shouldn't worry about that game against the Dolphins? Outlier.
I don't need to say any more.
All right. Paul's also gone for the Ravens. It's the
For very good reason.
traditional pick.
Just a sensible.
Okay,
It's
maybe.
not a
All right, it's a
coincidence.
sensible pick, but yeah,
It's not a coincidence that
football's not always sensible.
Dave 12 picks gets picks them, and Paul, who is obviously very well versed in football, otherwise he wouldn't keep watching it being a Skins fan, also picks them. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're wrong.
All right. Okay. The Kansas City Chiefs at the Oakland Raiders.
Because
Why are you hesitating on this one?
I don't want to say Chiefs, but I can't honestly make a case for the Raiders winning it.
Well, no.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Chiefs. Sorry. Paul has gone for the Chiefs as
Okay.
well.
They're without Tyreek Hill this week. He's out for 2-3 weeks. Which
Yeah,
is
but
pain
they've
in the
got
arse
other
in my
players.
fantasy. Yeah.
So let's try this one then, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
It's the New Orleans Saints
Yeah.
at the LA Rams.
Saints.
At the LA Rams.
Yeah.
Why were you so quick on that one?
Because I think the Saints are the best team in football.
Lost last season
I
to
don't
the
care.
LA Rams.
I don't care.
In New Orleans.
Don't care.
Fair and square.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Anytime we're doing picks, as soon as you say the New Orleans Saints, I'm Saints. Simple as
that's
that.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I
all
know the
right.
best
Well, Paul's gone for the Rams.
Wow.
Next up, Chicago Bears at Denver Broncos.
Broncos.
Look, you know what happened last week.
I don't care.
Oh no,
You know-
let's pick my Broncos.
You know what people always do where they go against their team? I'm the opposite.
Yeah, you double down.
Yeah.
All right.
At
Well,
home, the Broncos are a completely different
Paul is not so
proposition.
hampered. He's going for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, the thing it's difficult for teams to keep up with the Broncos because of the altitude. It just is. It's
Yeah,
the biggest.
alright.
It's the biggest advantage in football. And playing
I thought
at that
that was
altitude.
playing in the AFC East for the Patriots.
Yeah, no, you do raise a very good point with that, actually. No, so it is a massive advantage for us, and I can't see that offense scoring.
Better than don't
That's
on your
it. I
team.
can't-
But
I
the
can't
best thing
see it
you've got
scoring.
is your home stadium.
No, it is.
Oxygen.
It is massive advantage. It just is. It just is. There's no other way around it. There's a reason that the
Yeah.
Colorado Rapids won the MLS Open a couple of years ago. It
Just
was
saying,
because-
dude.
but it is what it is.
You can't put oxygen into the Hall of Fame.
When I went to the Broncos, when I went to see the Broncos, when I went to Denver,
Yes.
you're a mile up in the sky. You get out of breath going for a shit. I'm not joking. You're sitting there
Well,
going,
you
Jesus
get out of
Christ.
breath.
That's a different story. I've told you that story. But no, you seriously do get out of breath, and it does affect you.
All right.
It really, really does. So the offense, I think, is, I mean, it's got no spike to it. We've spoken about this already. I just
Yeah.
don't see them scoring enough points. At the same time, the only way they are going to win is if they win like 10-9 or something stupid.
It's going to be a low scoring affair.
I
probably.
can't see it being a big one, yeah.
2 games left then. The first is the Philadelphia Eagles at the Atlanta Falcons.
Eagles.
Yeah,
I think
Paul's gone for the Eagles as well.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are a really good team.
They are.
And it's the way that, again, they kept their calm and just said, we know we're going to beat you. It's as simple as that. We know we're going to beat you.
Yep.
And I bow down to your superior knowledge of saying the Falcons are shit.
And the Monday night game, it's the Cleveland Browns at the New York Jets. Prime time.
Jets got beat. Well, yeah, Jets lost in the game they shouldn't have lost against. So Jets were Jetish and the Browns were Brownish.
Yeah.
I fancy the Jets for this one. It's at Meadowlands, isn't it?
It is in the Meadowlands, yeah.
I'm going to go Jets. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to go Jets.
Okay. Well, Paul's gone Browns, so we've got some differences there.
Okay.
Obviously, I will get the Kings picks in, and when I do have
Yeah.
them, if I can be bothered before game day, I will post them up on the website, like I've done with week 1.
Yep.
So make sure you check that out at jimandtheking.com. and then you got the different pages there. Not just the podcast, but the blog and the King versus the People.
Yeah.
So that's it, Dave. We've completed week 1.
Can we have an update on fantasy?
Oh,
So we've had a request from Punk to talk about
I
fantasy.
bet we have.
You said you were going to stricken it from our records.
Yeah.
No such luck. So
We've got to go. We're out of time.
You played him this week. I lost by a point. You played him this week.
Yeah.
And so the man who drafted for 2014, you said, he beat you. Not only did he beat you,
He got so lucky.
trounced you.
He got so lucky.
Trounced
Couple
you.
of good players there.
He got 30% more points than you did.
I had the Denver defense.
I know you did.
Give me 0 points, Dave.
You got
Explain
mullered.
that one away.
Utterly mullered. But there is some good news.
What's that?
In another league that he
Am I
and
playing
I
you
are
next
in-
week?
No.
All right.
I'm playing his junior.
All right.
In another league that he and I are
junior.
in, I played against him and I got double the amount of points he did. So
Congratulations.
that's the only win I got this week, let's be honest. But no, so you are currently second last in our division. How do you feel, Jim?
It's a long season, Dave. It's a long
For you, it's a
season.
good job you are. You've done about as well as your Steelers
As
did
a-
this week.
As a Steeler fan, I'm not going to panic after 1 week. So I'm used to this.
Someone should get fired from your fantasy.
That's
As
not
you said-
panicking.
no, you said that
Someone should
get
pay
fired.
for that result.
Someone should pay for your fantasy
Yeah, like a
result.
kit man
You
or
should be
something.
fired from your fantasy
No,
result.
no.
You should
I
let
said
someone
not
else
the head
take over
coach
your
or the
team.
offensive. No. I just
All
said
right.
the defensive coordinator.
Okay, so in your fantasy team,
Oh,
I think
God.
DeAndre Hopkins should be fired from your team. I'll swap him. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'll trade him to you if you want.
It was just good to have football back.
It was.
It was good.
It's good to be back here again, Dave.
Yeah.
I love doing the pod with you. And next week,
You don't get much choice. It's normally only you and I. at the moment.
well, next week, Philly Side should be back from Tenerife.
Yeah.
Punk should be back from trying to refund his Antonio Brown jersey. We may even get the king.
That
you never
joke's
know.
never going to get old for you, is it?
No.
Jesus Christ.
Until next week, then, guys. I've been Jim. That's been Denver Dave, and thank you so much for listening.